Season's greetings, everybody. I am Lobo, and welcome to Luna. This is episode 184 of my Minecraft survival series, and if all goes as planned, this episode's going up a day early on Christmas Eve, which means you guys need to just relax, take the night off, enjoy yourselves. Unless you enjoy doing what you're doing, then obviously, continue doing what you're doing. But first things first, before we do anything else, to those of you who do celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you, and to those of you who don't, Happy holidays to you. I hope it is great, was great, whatever the case may be. Now, some of you guys might have noticed I haven't gotten a Christmas tree up this year. I mean, we do technically still have this guy that we put up last year, which still has its lights in it. I mean, if we threw some ornaments in there, we could call that our Christmas tree and be done, right? But here's the thing, we've put up a new Christmas tree every year in this world since we started. So we've had 3 trees so far. I don't want to break that tradition quite yet, so yeah, today we're going to find a new location, build a new tree. Now, I've kind of been in the mood to just work outside of Luna recently. Like, we finished up Wharf recently. We are working on finishing up the approach. And I was thinking, I do still kind of want to work outside of Luna and build this Christmas tree, maybe somewhere overlooking Luna and just looking around this area. I think I know where the perfect place to have our Christmas tree is going to be. I think it's going to be right up here. Actually, now that I think about this, might be a little bit too high up. But check this out. Look at this. We got all the snow down around here already. It's already feeling very Christmassy, so I do think this is a good spot. But I think I might want to lower this down a little bit, make it into like kind of a platform for our tree that's overlooking Luna. But I don't want it to be this high up where we're kind of dwarfing everything in Luna, right? So I've done some calculations and tried to figure out what I want to do. And I think what I want to do is build a big circular platform centered at this point right here. So I've counted out an equal distance to the north, south, east, west, points of this thing. And I think we've got this figured out to where it will encompass the entirety of this mountain, right? So I'll build a big circular platform that goes around here connecting each of these points, which means, and this is probably going to be the lowest point of our platform. So we're going to be taking a lot off the top of this mountain, but not all of it. We'll probably maybe go 4 or 5 blocks above where I've put our little marks over here. I realized that what I just said probably doesn't make a ton of sense. So what I'm going to do is draw a little bit of this out, draw some of the circle out to give you some visuals to go along with the words that just seem to be falling out of my mouth right now. So the simplified version of what's going to happen in this episode is we're going to A, build a platform, B, build a Christmas tree on top of that platform. That's it. Now, the Christmas tree is going to be going after the holiday season. That's not a permanent fixture of this world, but the platform will stay. So what I want to do to kind of justify its presence here is to add a little bit of functionality to it. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. But I think we have the shape of the platform now in, the size and shape of the platform, and this is more or less what it looks like. Man, that is a big circle. I may have overestimated what I'm going to be able to accomplish in this episode. The Christmas tree is not going to fill in this entire thing. It's not going to take up the whole platform or anything. That would be ridiculous. But what I want to do before we do anything else is kind of show you what the sides of this platform is going to look like. Yeah, it doesn't really work. Anyway, let me go ahead and collect some grass because I want to add a little bit of color to this. A little bit of green, a little bit of red. So we're just going to go ahead and throw our grass over top of this stone brick right here. And this is for 2 reasons. One, I want to give you guys an idea of how I want this platform to look, but also I want to see if what I'm thinking is actually going to work, right? So we have our green. We're also going to need a little bit of red. And for red, I think we're going to use the rose bushes, like the actual rose bushes themselves. But before we get them, I'm going to go ahead and do something that's long overdue. I want to go ahead and put some lovers here instead of the buttons, so that way we can collect mass amounts of these whenever we need them. So if you'll excuse me for a few minutes, I need to pick some flowers. Now that I'm thinking about this, I don't think the grass is going to be enough green. So I'm going to go ahead and collect some vines as well so we can make some mossy stone and stuff. Yeah, I know I broke my chest over there. Ignore that. I will clean it up in just a second. That's kind of like the bad part about harvesting the vines over here. But yeah, we're going to add some vines, some mossy stone to this build as well. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and get in a little sample section of how I want these sides of this platform to look. So let me go ahead and do that, and then we can kind of step back and see what we think about it before proceeding. I'm also going to be incorporating a little bit of spruce into the background here just to kind of warm this build up a little bit, just so the sides of this thing aren't looking too gray. So this is basically going to serve as the background, the backdrop to our rose bushes. So you can imagine that this is going to be the top of our platform. Okay, let's go ahead and get a better view of this. Let's maybe go, I don't know if down here is going to be a good angle to view this from, but we'll go ahead and check it out from down here. So we're going to have our platform sitting up there, right? And then we're going to have the terrain kind of built out to actually support this platform. And then at the center of this giant circle, that's going to be where we put our Christmas tree, okay? So that means that everything up... Little failure to launch there, excuse me, pretend that didn't happen. That's going to mean that everything above this point is actually going to have to go. So we have... pretend with me, okay? Use your imagination, pretend I landed up here the first time. It doesn't mean everything from this point up is going to have to go. Dee that little file recovery process we started last episode, have we seen any progress with that?
Recovery of the requested data is currently 4% complete.
4%. Okay, so we are indeed making some progress. Great news, great news. All right, so now we need to go ahead and start working on this. We need to start making some progress on this, right? So we got DD over here. Let's go ahead and just put on a little bit of music and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. We've got the top of this mountain now cut off. We've got the rough shape of our platform now built, but there's still a lot more work to do. And I mean a lot more work to do. Obviously, we're going to have to terraform the land to come up and meet the size of this platform because we don't want it to look like this thing is just hanging precariously off the edge of this mountain, right? We don't want it to look unbalanced, like it's about to tip over. So that's going to need to happen. We obviously need to get the top of the platform itself in there, and there's still a lot more work to be done, but I'm going to take a break from it for a little while. I thought I'd be able to make that without using another rocket. Obviously, we collected a lot of resources as we clipped off the top of this mountain. A lot of it went into the construction of the sides of the platform, and a lot more will go into, making this thing whole. We'll get around to that a little bit later, as I said. But as you can see, I went through a lot of tools as we were cleaving through the top of that mountain, which usually is the case as we're clearing out land around Luna. And I was thinking, I kind of want to give a little gift this holiday season, but the thing is, neither Wolfred nor Decoy Dog celebrate Christmas. So maybe I'll give a little gift to myself instead. You see, I have a lot of work to do this upcoming year as far as clearing out the land surrounding Luna, and what would really help with that are some additional tools. Now, I was thinking, since our villagers just refused to take the day off work, maybe what we could do is throw a little bit of business their way. So this guy, he sells an Efficiency 1 diamond pickaxe. Efficiency 1, huh? All right, yeah, we're gonna throw a little bit of business his way. And there we go. I feel good about this. You know, we got an extra shovel, we got a few extra pickaxes that helps to fill out this shulker box a little bit better, and will definitely come in handy when it comes to clearing out a little bit more land over here in the future. But let's not talk about the future. Let's talk about what we're doing today. What I want to do is shift our focus back to this and figure out how we're going to be shaping the land over here in order to hold up this platform. So what we're going to be doing is drawing a little bit of an outline, trying to figure out what the sides of this are going to look like, just figure out the general slope or I guess shape of the sides. What I'm thinking is we're going to kind of gradually go in and just meet the sides of the existing area, at least for this part, right? We'll have to do like the whole thing on some of the other sides where it's not going to connect at all. We'll have to start from the ground up. But maybe over here we could do something like this and just have this tie into the existing cliff face. So let me go ahead and bring this all the way down. We can see what we think of it. So yeah, we'll have like a kind of a concave shape right here. And I think, you know, something like that could be kind of interesting. So let's see what we think of... I hear you. There's a zombie down there. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously it's going to take a little bit of work. Excuse me. Put that down. That's mine. Obviously it's going to take a little bit of work, but I think we can come up with a pretty interesting design for this. Now, ideally, I'd like to make this work with the existing landscape as much as possible because that's going to make my life a lot easier, to be honest with you. But there are some areas where the existing landscape is just not going to work for us. For instance, this mound right here, I don't think we're going to be able to tie this in with our pedestal easily at all. So this might have to go. Oh, I don't know if you caught that, but that drown just totally tried into the other drown. It looks like they're about to have a drown fight. Let's see. Well, obviously this guy with the trident wins. Or at least he got to briefly enjoy his victory. All right, let me get back to what I was doing, which was getting these little outlines in. So yeah, let me go ahead and get a few more of these done, and we'll be back in a few minutes just to see how everything is looking. And obviously this is not going to be like flat as we go into the water. Like we'll vary this up a little bit, but I'm just trying to hurry up and get something to show you guys. I should probably also clarify that you shouldn't expect to see this entire place done today. Like right now we're focused on getting the pedestal in, we're focused on getting our Christmas tree in, and we're focused on the terraforming. You know, we're not worried about tying everything together today. Right now we're just trying to get the rough shape of this in. We'll focus on the terraforming, using stone and stuff like that. In another episode, we'll come back here and do our landscaping, which is where we'll start adding the block variation, the leaves, all that stuff to try to make everything actually look good. I mean, hopefully it does look decent by the end of this episode, but, you know, it'll look good later. Hopefully. All right, so I'm kind of looking over what we've drawn in. I'm happy with it for the most part. I think this one might be a little bit too flat because I like this more exaggerated concave that we got going on those ones back there. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with this one just to make it a little bit more concave, a little bit more exaggerated, because I think that will make this build look, I don't know if it's necessarily going to make it look better, but it will make it look more interesting, I think. So if we were to do something like this with it, we'll probably, yeah, we connect it just like that. We'll see how that looks. And yeah, I think that's definitely an improvement. All right. Now, I was hoping I wouldn't have to clear out any more land than we already have, but I think over here on the backside, it's probably going to be necessary. We do have a lot of trees that are going to kind of impede our way as we start to build up. And I think overall, we're going to definitely be benefited by taking some of this stuff out. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He is all kitted up. Yeah, hand that stuff over. If you guys have been around for a while, you know how I feel about these gnarled oak trees. Where's my flint and steel? You know, the weather in Luna is frightful, but this fire, it's just so delightful. Things may have gotten a little out of hand here. I didn't want to burn down all the trees, just the one. Oh no. Okay. Okay, give me a minute. It's okay. We're contained. We got it contained. We're good. Let's go ahead and shift our focus to the top of the platform now. I want to border this walkway with some stairs right here. And we will vary this up a little bit with the cobble and the moss and all that. I just need to farm some more vines first. But then we're going to come down a little bit with our spruce planks. And we're going to build up some walls and floors out of spruce. And this is for that functionality I was talking about a little bit earlier. In the spirit of the season, I was thinking maybe we go ahead and build ourselves a little ice farm up here, right? So if we were to flood the entire top of this platform with water, I believe we are still high enough up that it will freeze and provide us with tons and tons of ice. So imagine this all flooded, save for one little section here at the center where we'll make a little bit of room for our Christmas tree. Or maybe we'll make a little bit more room for our Christmas tree than I was initially imagining, because I don't really have a use for that much ice, I don't think. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this center platform out pretty far. That way we can kind of dress it up a little bit and have probably a bigger Christmas tree more suited to this platform than I was initially planning, right? All right, so that should be it. We've got the center platform now drawn out, the shape of it, right? Again, of course, it's a circle. Everything I do is a circle, it seems like. But yeah, I think that should be a pretty good size for it. Yeah, I like that. All right, so we have a ton of work ahead of us, guys. A ton of work to do, but we have a plan. You guys know the plan. I know the plan. I just need to collect a few more resources in order to execute that plan. But then I think once I'm finished with this, we'll go ahead and put on a little bit of music, call Dee Dee over to the site, and try to get everything I told you I was going to try to get done. Welcome back, everybody, and would you look at this Christmas tree? This is by far the biggest Christmas tree I've ever built. So, starting off, some stuff went to plan, some stuff did not go to plan. We will talk about that as we look at this, but we're going to kind of check this build out section by section. So starting off with the terraforming, you can see how everything is going to connect to the ground now, which is nice. So now you have a better idea of how this is going to look overall once we're done. Obviously, tons of work still to do. We still have a lot of landscaping to do. We still have a lot of block variation we need to add and shaping that we need to do. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the terraforming. What I'm less happy about is the top of this platform. So you guys might know that I don't really plan stuff out as well as I should, and you may notice that while a lot of this area is covered in ice, some area is not covered in ice because it is in the entirely wrong biome. So you guys might have realized that while I was building. I didn't realize it until it was too late, but it's okay, I think, because we could just not harvest ice from that area. We just plant some ice there for aesthetic purposes and then just not harvest it. We just harvest our ice from, say, the front section over here, which is in the right biome, thankfully. And if we harvest this the right way, you can see that it fills back in with the water sources. That will freeze back over and give us more ice. So we do have a lot of ice that we can get from this, so long as we harvest from the appropriate areas, namely the front and this side over here. I think that's pretty much all ice as well. And as I said, we're just going to fill the back in and just never harvest it. It's not as if I was intending to get, say, packed ice and blue ice from this, because it's way too much ice you have to harvest to craft either of those. I mainly just wanted this ice to use as water sources, so that way I didn't have to go back and forth with buckets to an infinite source, you know, all that mess. But yeah, I mean, how did you get up here, Dolphin? That's ridiculous. And finally, moving on from the ice fiasco, let's take a look at our Christmas tree. I think we just saw it from the air, but I'll go ahead and give you another view of it since that's what this whole build was for anyway. It's basically two spruce trees stacked on top of each other, kind of dressed up to look nice. And we have Dee Dee hanging out right over here underneath the Christmas tree. Dee Dee, I'm over here, Dee Dee.
Yes, I am aware.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was just wondering if we'd made any progress on those files.
Recovery of the requested data is currently 7% complete.
I was hoping we'd make a little bit more progress. I want to give these guys some good news for the holidays.
I can expedite the process by putting all other systems in rest mode.
Okay. Yeah, we'll let him do that, and we'll kind of hang out for a bit. I'm not sure, like, how fast this will go, but the process will be expedited. Maybe we just kind of hang out and enjoy the view. Or maybe we do something else. I don't know. Maybe.
Recovery of the requested data is 100% complete.
Dee Dee, did you just say 100%?
Yes.
Oh, Dee Dee. Oh, great. Where have Wolfen's laboratory put Watchdog?
Wolfen's Laboratories is no longer in possession of the one you know as Watchdog.
Okay. So that means he escaped, right? Where can we find him? Do you have any information where Watchdog may have gone?
Documents show a transaction between Wolfen's Laboratories and an entity known as RK9 Order.
A transaction, so he didn't escape. Okay, so Wolfen's Laboratory gave him to the RK9 Order.
Yes. The RK9 Order is likely in possession of the one you know as Watchdog. However, they will not be easy to find.
I mean, when is anything ever easy, right, Dee Dee? Just tell me, where do I go to find this RK9 Order?
The RK9 Order's base of operations is known as the Enchant Tree. Coordinates point to this site. However, it has not yet been built.
Wait, so you're saying they're here?
Yes.
Okay, so the RK9 Order is in the Enchant Tree, and the Enchant Tree is supposed to be right here.
Yes.
Okay, So that's what we're going to do after Christmas, and once we take the tree down, the Enchant Tree is going to go here. And you're saying that if we build the Enchant Tree here, they're just going to, what, show up?
The RK9 Order is already here, but you will not be able to interact with them until their presence is made known in this world.
They're already here, but I can't see them. That's some magical stuff, Dee Dee. I don't know if I like that. But I guess we have some work ahead of us. So, I don't know, what a way to wrap up this year. Wow. I mean, we are a step closer to finding Watchdog, though, so I guess that's a good sign. But that, ow, my face. that is where we're going to call it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to hit that little thumbs up button. That would mean a whole lot to me. And if you want to see more, please remember to subscribe. And I just want to wish everybody out there the happiest of holidays. And I want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out with me today. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I am Lobo, and I will see you guys later.